Good afternoon, Colin here with Techout, and today I want to do a follow-up video on a video I posted last week on the caller that kept calling me, the company that kept calling me, and that company is Wheelzy LLC out of Orlando, Florida. So if anybody's looking at this, looking to do business with them, I did find out some information from some other people. It is a legitimate company. I'm not too sure what's going on, but I talked to a tow truck driver that contracts with them that they send out to pick up these vehicles that they do buy. And he said they're legitimate. He's towed for them in the past. But there's some issues going on. And this company is absolutely horrible. Harassing business practices, whatever's going on. They claim that somebody is using my phone number on their website to get request quotes for vehicles. I've never been to their website until I looked them up to see who was calling me. Before that, never heard of them. I said that in the other video. But this morning, I woke up to 12 missed calls from this company. It's going to throw off the camera there. There we go. 12 missed calls from this company, 6 voicemails, and a ton of text messages. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 text messages from the same number that called me 12 times. Pretty much at the same time that they were calling me. The text messages started at 8:37 and went until 9:31 a.m. And I had all these other text messages yesterday. I kept telling them, do not contact me, do not contact me. And they kept saying, man, I know the reason why. Thank you for accepting our offer. So what's really confusing me is if somebody puts my phone number and a vehicle make and model on their website using, like I said, using my phone number, and they text me about it, I'm really confused as to how they're saying, thank you for accepting our offer when I'm not responding. Like, I don't get who they think is accepting this offer, because if the only information you can put on their website is the vehicle, make, model, and year, and the phone number. So they're like pretending that I'm accepting these offers for these vehicles, and they're going as far as calling their contracted tow providers to contact me to set up times. I've gotten calls at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. from Wheelzy, from tow providers, looking to pick the vehicle up at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. I just got a call 30, 45 minutes ago on my way home from a tow provider here locally. They're just giving, they don't know my address. They're just giving tow providers in my local, the zip code area, my information to call and confirm my address to pick up these vehicles that don't exist. I've owned 2 vehicles in my life, and these are none of them. They're asking, like, they offered me $750 for a 2012 Tesla Model S. Like, you could have an absolutely clapped out, scrapped, burnt to the crisp Tesla, and it's probably worth more than $750. So I don't understand it. But I've called their main number that's on Google multiple times, asking to speak to somebody about this issue, asking to have my number removed, and they say they're deleting the files or closing the files, and then an hour later I'll get 5 more phone calls. So I don't know. A lot of people are telling me just block and ignore them. That's fine and dandy. I blocked them yesterday, and as you can see, 12 calls from a new number today. I blocked the number that was calling me last Thursday and Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I get a new number. Monday, new number. So that's not really working. And when I block them, all that does is prevent my phone from ringing. They still fill up my voicemail with crap. So, and they're giving my number to other companies, other tow providers that are calling me at all hours of the day and night to set up tows for things that don't exist. So that's not really working. I don't really want to change my number yet because I have a lot of stuff tied to my phone number. One-time passcode login stuff, all a bunch of different people that I work with. Doctors, stuff like that for my foot, all that kind of stuff. All that is through my phone number. And if I have to go and change all that stuff, that's going to take forever. Not to mention having to re-verify things, reset things up for one-time passcodes. It's just going to be an absolute pain in the butt. Like, I'd take these people to court before I had to change my phone number. I'm not going through all that, having to change my phone number, because they're making no effort to see what's going on with their website and why my number is getting put on there. I can't get past anybody other than the person that picks up the phone when you call the main number, which is just sounds like overseas call rep. Can't get past them. I told them it was regarding a legal matter. I told them that I've sent a letter of intent to sue, which I have. I did send them a letter of intent to file a lawsuit to let them know that I'm serious. and that, this needs to be taken care of. One of the reps even told me, you need to check your phone number, that's your problem. No, it's not. It's being used fraudulently, maliciously on your website, or you got it somewhere and you're refusing to look into the matter to stop these calls. I've asked you guys to stop contacting me multiple times, and even after I said do not contact me, I literally said do not contact me again, a lawsuit will be filed for harassment, and they literally 3 minutes later text me, thank you for accepting the offer for $389 for your 2012 Ram. Seriously? And then again, when they sent that, 3 minutes later, I said, do not contact, I said the exact same thing, do not contact me again, a lawsuit will be filed for harassment. And then that was at 10:13 p.m., 10:14 p.m. When can we come around to pick up your Tesla 2012? And this isn't a bot. Keep in mind, this is not a bot, because I said, he said, this is Ralph with Wheelzy. How was your day? He said, what is the address? I gave him the address to the police station. And then I said, okay, see you at the police station at 6 a.m. He said, may I know the reason? Ralph, smiley face. So it's not a bot. They know what I'm saying when I said do not contact me anymore, and they still keep going. And they're just relentless. So we'll see how they respond to the letter I mailed them. It's sent, it's tracked, I know it's gonna get there. So we'll see how that goes. I really don't want to pay for an attorney or have to go through all that for this, but if they're going to keep calling me 12, 15, 20 times a day, blowing up my phone, filling up my voicemail, texting me all hours of the day, then something's going to have to be done about it. So Wheelzy LLC, WHEELZY, in Orlando, Florida. I have verified that it is this company. I've called their main number from their website, and it goes to the same place. The people know the cars that they've called me about from these other local numbers. So it's not just somebody spoofing them. It's not somebody impersonating them. It is for sure this company. And I wanted to verify that before I went out and claimed that they were doing all this stuff. But yes, it is verified. I have been in contact with the Better Business Bureau in Florida as well. I do have a complaint in with them, which they did respond to. Wheelzy did respond to. I've been saying Wheelzy. Wheelzy did respond to, but they said that they would stop calling me and that they would put in to have my information removed, and the matter was resolved. And that was on Friday, and today's Monday, and they called me all weekend and all day today again. So I am trying to actually get in contact with somebody at the Better Business Bureau that's handling that complaint to see if they can give me any more information on the company, or somebody to contact other than the person that answers the phone at the call center, because they're absolutely useless. A lot of people have mixed opinions about the Better Business Bureau. I've had some good luck with them in the past with some issues with DoorDash. So that got me a refund from having a complaint on there. Some people say it's just the Google reviews from the 1960s. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So far, that has been the only way to get somebody higher up, I guess, at Wheelzy to respond to anything when they responded to that complaint. That's the only contact I've had with them. So it looks like that's the best, probably quickest route right now. I've done FTC, I've done State Attorney General complaints. They even told me that they're pretty much going to be useless for something like this, because they're like 180 to 200 some days out for reviewing anything you submit, and they don't exactly know what they'd be able to necessarily do about this anyway. So that is what it is. But so I'm going to keep pursuing this, obviously, because they keep calling me. I can't just ignore it, because my phone is ringing a couple times an hour almost, most days, most hours. So we'll have to figure something out. But if anybody has any suggestions other than blocking and ignoring them, because like I said, that's not working. They're calling from different numbers. They're texting from different numbers. They're having other people, other tow providers call me. And the tow providers are not at fault here. I actually had a long conversation with one of them, and he said that they're a legit company. He's towed for them in the past. They're a broker, so you give them your vehicle's information, and they have tow providers that they contract with, and the tow providers are actually the ones coming and buying your vehicles. So he's like, yeah, if they send me information on a vehicle that doesn't exist, it's just wasting my time, because if I go out to that address and there's nobody there, there's no vehicle there, you went out there for nothing. And he said that's happened a couple times as well. So he was trying to actually get in touch with his contact there for his side of the deal with them for towing, to see if they can push this up and see if they can help me out. He told me that on Friday. Of course, it's been over the weekend and today's Monday, so I don't know if he has or hasn't. I haven't heard from him. I haven't tried to call him back or anything like that. I don't want to bother him because he is running an actual business outside of this. So we'll see if we can get anything figured out, and I'll keep you guys up to date. If you want to hear the calls, they are in that other video. I'll link it down below. If you want to hear me mess with them, because at first I didn't know what was going on. They called me like 4 times, and I was like, hey, wrong number, I'm not selling anything. And they kept calling, so like the 5th or 6th time, or 4th or 5th time, whatever it was, I sat there and BS'd with the dude for a little bit, thinking it was just a scam, not realizing it was actually a legitimate company that has absolutely terrible service and doesn't know how to remove somebody from the call list or whatever. I even told them when I called today about the legal matter that I wanted to speak to somebody higher up, and they said they didn't have a way to transfer me. Somebody would have to call me back. I think that's BS. I think if you work somewhere, you should probably have a legal department or something that can take a call for something like this, or somebody higher up that can speak to somebody with an issue like this going on. And they refused every time. And I just kept calling because they've called me 50 plus times, so I'm gonna call them 3 or 4. Is what it is. And they were like, oh well, yeah, we already see here in the notes that that we told you last time that you needed to wait for the manager or whatever to call you back. So you can have that in the notes. You can see that, but you can't see the fact that I've asked you for 6 days now to stop calling me. So absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't do business with them. I don't care if they're legit or not. If this is how they handle a situation like this, I wouldn't want to have a business relationship with a company like that. So I would definitely recommend, if you're watching this as a potential customer, to stay away from them. And I'm Colin with Techout. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. And as always, have a great day.